Thank you for everyone to meet you today. So, do this together. Thanks for each and every one. So, pray that this will this continent.
So I don't want to waste too much time because we have lost some time. I want to welcome our visitors from the World Bank, Cedric, Fanta, Obed, and Dennis. I know we've been talking a lot with Dennis the past week. He's behind there. He's trying to make sure everything is fine behind the scenes. So my name is Naomi from the Career Office here at the University of Nairobi. I'm the section head in the Career Office. And I'm so happy to see the students who have shown up. At first, I remember telling Dennis, I am not so sure whether we are going to have an because I know it's an exam period for you guys. But I'm happy that you're here. I know the World Bank has numerous opportunities for you, so just listen in and tap into whatever you feel will propel you to your career. So I'll invite our dean of students, who is also in charge of the career office, to come and give a word of hand over to the World Bank.
It is making noise. What is that?
It's me, it's talking.
Oh, it's an echo, so you
Yeah.
can hear your words.
Yeah.
Oh, are we going to stop it? I don't know. Are you streaming live?
For the Eastern and Southern Africa region. I'm based here in Nairobi. I'm Kenyan, and I'm happy to be here at the University of Nairobi. After this outreach, I'd like to my colleagues. Okay, sorry. Yes, I'd like to introduce my colleagues to introduce themselves and say something about themselves as we get into the session. And I'll start with the program lead for the recruitment programs. Fantaso, please come and introduce.
So I would say good morning, everybody. Thank you for welcoming us. We are very happy to be here in Kenya and to be able to, present some career opportunities for the bank. My name is Fantaso. I am originally from Guinea. I live in Washington, D.C. I actually been working with the World Bank for almost 19 years now in different capacity throughout HR, so in different departments. Currently, I lead our partnership recruitment programs, so working with either government, private entity, public sectors to have capacity building, knowledge exchange. And in this regard, I'm here with my colleague Cedric, who will also introduce himself. Thank you for having us.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Cedric Bengue, originally from Cameroon, as I already mentioned. I'm a baby at the bank. I joined the bank last year. It's been a year now. I'm a recruiter for the Africa region, but also for the Middle East region. I'm based in Washington, D.C. as well. Part of my job is to conduct those outreaches where we come to universities and other professional bodies and talk about the bank, the World Bank, and the career opportunities we have. So we are thrilled to be here with you, and hopefully this will be a learning session and you can get something from us, and hopefully, yes, it works out for everybody else. So, Andy, do you want to say something quickly?
I don't think this lectern was made for short people. I'll try my best. My name is Anne Kabugi. I am originally from Muranga County. And I live and work in Nairobi. I have been with the World Bank Group, with the International Finance Corporation, which is the private sector lending arm of the World Bank Group. So we work with private sector company for 8 years now. And my role is the regional gender head. So I work with the private sector companies to close gaps between men and women across leadership, employment, entrepreneurship, and consumers in terms of product and services that companies push out to the market. I'm an alumnus of the University of Nairobi. So I am extremely excited to be here today to share my story with you and to show you it's possible to get into the World Bank Group and build an international career. Thank you.
Right. And what did you study?
Oh, I'm a teacher by profession. So I did Bachelor's of Education in Business and Economics. Yeah. Yes.
In class, and we have quite a good number of students who are at University of Nairobi and working for us here in the Kenya office and around the world as well. And we'll talk more about that. Now, I'd like us to get started, get going with the session today. And I'd like us to talk about the World Bank as an institution, so that maybe we can set the stage for some of the things we'll be talking about. Now, World Bank as an institution is how many staff? Can you guess? How many staff does the World Bank have around the world? 10,000? Another? Yes, guess.
Don't be shy. Yes. There's no wrong answer.
Yes. 5,000. Okay. 2,000. Safaricom has something about 5,000 employees in Kenya only. So that is a good try. So I'm talking about World Bank worldwide. It's about 18,000 staff. And these are full-time staff. And at any point in time, we have almost an equal number of consultants who are consulting for the World Bank. So it's a big institution. Here in Kenya is over 400 staff full-time and an almost equal number of consultants who are consulting for the World Bank Group. So Kenya is the largest office, and Nairobi is the largest office outside Washington. That is Forum. So you are very privileged to be in a very good location. Now we have membership of over 170 nationalities. How many countries are in the world? 187. So almost all countries of the world are members of the World Bank Group, and that shows our global presence. We have the World Bank, which in itself actually is started off as an nickname. What was the original name? International Bank for Reconstruction. Okay, I don't want the professors to explain. There's a little writer professor. So the original name was International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and because of that, the journalists who are writing about this bank, this new bank, were tired of always writing international banks for construction and development, and they decided to make maybe World Bank. The reason why they did so is because at that point in time, that was the only bank that was present in more than one continent. And we're talking about the 40s. So they decided to call it World Bank. So the World Bank Group is composed of IFC, where my sister here is working, and IFC is mainly focused on private sector development, how to mobilize private sector funds to fight poverty and boost shared prosperity in a livable planet. That is one emphasis we are giving right now because of the climate change challenges that the world is encountering. The World Bank itself, which is actually IDA, International Development Association, and International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, is dealing with mainly governments, working with governments in order to fight poverty and boost shared prosperity as well. We have another arm that is in the private sector space, and that is MEGA, a multilateral investment guarantee association, and they're also working at looking at how to guarantee some of the investments in some of the risk markets. And then we have another arm that many of you may have not heard about, and that is called ICSID, International Center for Settlement of International Disputes, and then many people looking at arbitration issues in terms of investment disputes. That's what forms one bank group in a nutshell. So when you hear and say one bank group, here we are referring to one or several of those institutions. Right. Our mandate is really to look at the 659 million people around the world with poverty. As I said, our mission is really to fight poverty and boost shared prosperity in a livable planet. Put $5.6 billion in terms of financial assistance to countries around the world. 12,000 projects here in Kenya. I think it's about, for the World Bank, it's about 35 projects spanning various sectors, economic programs like the development policy lending, to roads projects, to energy projects, and all that. Some of the flagship projects you see around Kenya have actually been financed by World Bank funds. There are also several private sector projects also being financed, including schools and insurance companies and all that. Yes. So what do we do at World Bank? As I said, our mission is to fight poverty and boost shared prosperity. That is the pursuit that we live for every day. And we touch many areas of economic development as long as it is going to be help boost shared prosperity and fight poverty. Now, but it's not just the fight, it's also to create a sustainable growth. As I say, climate change issues, there is also the issue of ensuring that the growth is also sustainable. At the same time, invest in people, to protect and invest in people as well. People are the biggest resource. All of us are in human resources. We know that there's no development without actually people. And we are looking at creating stronger policies. And one of the ways we are achieving this is to work with governments and government systems in the implementation of projects. And here I must emphasize that people say it's a World Bank project, or broad is a World Bank project. The actual right way to say it is actually it's a World Bank financed project. It's a government project, but it's just being financed by the World Bank. I've already mentioned about climate issues, so I'm not going to repeat that. We already talked about policy reforms in terms of policy lending and using government systems. I'd like us to go to the next stage to look at some of the programs we have in place so that we can speak to probably 5 in this session today. Thank you.
So I think before we go into the next part of the presentation, I just want to kind of have a small piece, see if you were really, really listening to us or if you were half sleeping. So who remembers how many nationalities do we have represented? More than 170 nationalities. Definitely, we do mirror the world. It is really, really pleasant to work the corridors of the bank and listen to many, many, many different languages. And to meet people from areas where you have never dreamed of meeting them. How many of you speak another language besides English? So about 2 languages, 3 languages. Who speaks French? Okay, who speaks Spanish? Portuguese? Arabic?
Chinese.
Chinese? Okay. Russian? Okay. All right. So why one would come and work for the World Bank? What do you think people come and work for the World Bank? Why would you come and work for the World Bank if you were given an opportunity?
And we're going to say, he was investor. The way they taught it, it was your job is to make sure that shareholders are money and you keep the products cheap enough that the customer will be. So my question there was always, what about the impact? Because we are going to. With what I have seen, as the world is shifting towards circular economy, I think you'll follow this. So I would want to be there solely because I want to work with testers. Sure that as much as they're making money, they're also taking it.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. Okay. So, Obed talked about our mission. And again, what we're talking about kind of touched a little bit on the mission. Yes, we do want to eradicate poverty, but we want to do that on a different planet because we are here, but then tomorrow it's going to be our children, and then in a few years it's going to be our children's children. So whatever we do today is what's going to impact the future of our planet. I talked about a little bit about the people. Talked about the diversity. People come and work with us because we do offer some great benefits. It is a great organization to come and work for. If you are really passionate about international development, we are the leading organization in this space. So what do we really hire for? Can somebody tell me? There are a lot of myths about the bank. So please tell me, what kind of profiles do you think we look for when we are recruiting? Yes, just take a guess. What is it? Bilingual people, yes. Having a second language as part of like some of the languages that we have as working language of the bank would be an advantage. Yes. Skills of solving. So ideally, some of the people actually for people to okay. Anything else? Anybody else has a guess? Yes. Global perspective. Okay, well, all of that is great and all of that is correct. Yes, we do like to work with people that can solve problems, see global perspective. We actually hire in all these different areas. And the reason why I was saying that there are many myths, a lot of people think that the World Bank does only recruits economists. Yes, but we don't. We are HR professionals, so we do have, let's say, some support functions. We actually recruit lawyers when we think about, writing policies, drafting agreements, when we are going into a project, working with governments. But we also, in IFC, for example, we hire people for investment officer position, or with an MBA background. We hire scientists, doctors, nurses. We hire engineers. So just to give you an idea of, yes, those 18,000 staff that we have and the other 18,000 consultant staff that we have, they are all over, like from education, people with energy background, people with accounting background. So just to give you that the possibilities are endless. How can you join us? We have different ways in which you can join us. So we do offer internship. I know that there were a lot of questions that we received. We have internship, we hire consultants, we have people join us through particular recruitment programs, and I'll go through those, and then we have regular staff positions. Okay. So the internship program is a paid internship program. It's usually for a period of 1 to 4 months. We target graduate students, so people that are enrolled in a master's or a PhD. We have an application period from January to February because usually we look at candidates that will join us for the summer. These internships are both in HQ, so in Washington, DC, or with the different offices that we have globally, so around the world. There is no age limit, because sometimes people do ask us what is the age limit for the internship. So there is no age limit. So the junior professional associate that I'm trying to really spell out, one thing that you learn when you come and you work with us, the World Bank, we are really, really notorious at using acronyms. We like to abbreviate things. So the junior professional associate program, we refer to it as the JPA program. It is a program targeted for candidates that have undergrads degree. You come under a full-time contracts for 1 year, renewable for up to 3 years. We are looking at candidates that are 28 or younger. Currently, we are revamping the program, so we should be opening up the links for applications in the next few weeks. So please be on the lookout for it if this is something that you are interested in. Again, and that's the reason why I always stress, even though the working language of the World Bank is English, having an additional language, and some of the languages are there, it's always an advantage. Young Professionals Program. Who has heard of the Young Professionals Program? Okay. So the Young Professionals Program is our flagship recruitment program from the World Bank. It's a World Bank group program, and you hear a lot about World Bank, which is usually, when people just say World Bank, it's IBR, but then when they say World Bank Group, then you have the IFC, you have MIGA, you have all the entities of the bank that are represented. So we recruit for all the entities of the bank. The World Bank, the YP program is really a program for which we intend to actually bring the participant to take on leadership roles. About 60% of our senior management came through the Young Professionals Program at the bank. Once you join under the YP program, you come as cohorts, a group of people. You are supported through a curriculum. There is a special program that is put in place with some leadership courses, communication classes, networking opportunities that are put together. You have some the ability to go on rotation, experience part of the bank, because what they are trying to do really is to groom you and to make you vulnerable to be able to move from one to another into then developing and stretching you as a career, a person within the World Bank Group. So, the eligibility, you have to be 32 or younger. So for this year's recruitment, you need to be 32 before October 1st, 1992. So at the time when you are joining, because usually the actual recruitment timeline takes about a year that you are 32. You need to have a master's degree at a minimum, plus 3 years of experience, relevant experience, okay? So we also do look at candidates that have a PhD. In that case, if you have a PhD, the 3 years of research then count as relevant experience. And you can see again, as I said, World Bank Group. So you have MIGA, you have IFC, you have the World Bank, and then the eligibility criteria is slightly different. For example, for MIGA, they are looking for at least people that have at least 4 years of relevant experience. For IFC, you'll be looking at more degrees for MBA and relevant master's degree with just 3 years of experience. Again, you see the different global practices. You know, as I said, we recruit almost for everything, social protection and job, transport, urban and development, risk, disaster risk, resilience and land, water. We talked to somebody who had a degree in climate change. So really many areas for which we actually recruit. Okay. So, YPs, again, we receive a lot of applications, super competitive process. Last year, we got more than 8,000 applications, and then we are about to onboard about 57 YPs this year to join. And that will be for all the institutions, they'll be placed, you know, IPRE, IFC. You can see the statistics. Very diverse, 53% women, 47 men, from 35 countries. When you have a pool of 57 applicants, you can already see how diverse that pool is. But you can see that the continent is well represented. You know, we have 28% of the applicants that have been selected in this competitive process that comes from the continent. So I think this is really good and really inspiring. The donor funded staffing program, I'm just going to touch lightly on it. It's one of the recruitment programs that we have, for which we have about 18 donors that participate in the program. This program was mainly created helping some of the donor countries that were really severely underrepresented at the bank, but they were big contributors to the bank. So a few countries like Japan, Iceland, Switzerland, Finland, Korea participate in this country. It's a trust-funded program, so the countries pay for the recruitment, for the salary and the benefits of these candidates when they join the bank for the first 2 years. The idea is that they come in the first 2 years, they are trust funded by their countries, but that the bank retains them. The other way that countries also use this program, they bring them as mid-careers, they stay for a couple of years, then they go back to their governments, and then they are able to work better with the bank. So from that angle, it is also capacity building. Currently, we only have one sub-Saharan country that participates in this program, and it's Ireland. So consultants. So we have two ways we bring on consultancies. As Obed said, we have about 18,000 or more consultancy. They are part of the family. They are an integral part of the organization. There is nothing we can do without them. We work hand in hand with them. So we have two types. The first one is called a short-term consultancy or short-term temporarily, and then we'll go into the grading system so you see the difference. If they come in under a contract with 150 days, they don't have any benefits associated with them. But if you were to work in some countries with some fragile situation, for example, you will get up to 190 days. For the extended term temporaries or consultancy, it's a 1-year contract, renewable for up to 3 years. It includes some benefits, including a 15% premium at the end, which would kind of complement for a pension contribution. Extended term renewable for 3 years, up to 3 years, and then when you don't find a position, a permanent position, you have to move on. So you have to leave the institution. That doesn't mean you can come back. We have many cases where people leave and come back. So I was talking about the grading system, so I'll just go over it a little bit quickly. We have 2 kinds of appointments. We have local appointments, international appointments. Local appointments would mean that, let's say, somebody, Kenyan candidate will be locally recruited in Kenya, paid in Kenyan currency, and have a local contract, versus I would be hired in Kenya. I am from Guinea, and it's called a third country national. I am African, so I get some benefits, but I'm still paid locally. And then you have what we call an international appointment, where, let's say, a Kenyan person is recruited in Tanzania, but it is not a local appointment. It is an international appointment, and they will go there, and then they'll be internationally recruited, and that would be also a different set of benefits that they will get. Again, grading, we are graded from A to J, and then A to D is usually the administrative part of the grading system, really the pillar of our organization. As I say, a lot of people come in the organization, they start as a C, B, they grow within the organization. As I always say, they are our bread and butter, they are our backbone. There is nothing we do in that organization without what we call the administrative staff. Then you have the professional and technical jobs, usually at a GE to GH, usually requiring a master's or a PhD. And then you have the managerial cadre that comes starting at an education level. Benefits, as you can see. Resettlement, that is for international type of appointment, mobility premium, expatriate benefit when applicable, health and life insurance, a very good, generous pension plan. And then, you know, in HQ, you have also a few different benefits that are applicable. And I can tell you that it depends also in some of the big offices, satellite office, we also have some of this as well. So really a great place to work. I can say I've been here for 19 years. What do you think? But I want to highlight these because these are our core values within the organization. Really, everybody knows and live and breathe this. What do we look for when we are recruiting for somebody? We're looking for somebody who would come and make an impact, right? Help our clients, think through them. Somebody talked about being creative in finding solutions, you know, engaging with clients and really making a change. We love integrity. We do what's right. That's what we work for. We care for our people. We care for ourselves. We care for our clients. We love respect. We operate under a respectful manner. At the World Bank, we work as teams. You know, we have people from all over the world. And I think this is one of the biggest richness that we have. Because when we talk about diversity, diversity is not just about Black, white, women. It's diversity of education, it's diversity of background, it's diversity of religion, it's diversity of values. So when you are at the bank, not only you learn so much, but it just enriches you. When you take a project, you know, come in as a project, you start working with a colleague from IFC, for example, depending on what the project is. You have legal that comes into play. You have procurement that comes into play. So it is not unusual to work at the bank and work with people that you don't even work on a daily basis. So that is something that we do. Innovation, we are a knowledge bank, we are proud of it. We try to strive, we like to always be on top of things. We like to be always reinventing ourselves, challenging ourselves, just applying what's the newest technologies on this world, and so we like to innovate. Recruitment process. Okay, there you go. It's heavy. Thank you.
So we have a thanks plan. We have a few more slides, and then I'm going to try to run through it so that we can allow time for questions, and so that after me you can give your testimony from the University of Nairobi to the IFC when you leave the program. So yes, so the recruitment process is pretty straightforward. So basically you apply, you see a position that you're interested in, and you apply. What happens is that after applying, we usually post our position for 2 weeks. That's the standard. At most for 3 weeks for difficult to fill positions. Or difficult to fill position can be based on the level of the position, on the specialty we are looking for, or on the location. In some countries, it's harder to hire than other countries, so that's why some can go over 3 weeks. Why is it important that I mention that? It's because 2 weeks is a short window to apply. That's why I always recommend when we do these outreaches to follow us on LinkedIn, follow our LinkedIn page, because we post a lot of positions there. You can do some alerts so you receive the alert when we post them, so you can be aware of what we posted, you can apply. Not just the LinkedIn page, but also our career page that you can follow and visit regularly. If you go to our career page, you will see positions from IFC, Liga, IPR developer. So once you apply, once we close the application, the position, what we do what we call a long list. Why do we have a long list? Because on some positions we have hundreds of people, especially all happens, exactly. That happens, especially if you're in some certain grades, you have to have applicants. So we have colleagues who are in the team called recruitment service team, and they help us to do a long list. So that's the first screening that we do, based on specific criteria like degree, the language you speak, or a specific area that you've worked on, or a specific region or country that you've worked on that the team might be looking for. So after they do this long list, they send it to the hiring team. The hiring team doesn't do the panel. Usually of 4 or 5 people, including the hiring manager. And this panel is pretty much diverse, where we have diversity in terms of gender, diversity in terms of practices, but also in terms of location. So people in HQ in Washington, DC, but also in the country offices. So this panel has to maintain the equity and fairness in the process as well as transparency. And that panel will do what we have a short list, what we call a short list. And I must emphasize the fact that we rarely go above 5 to 6 candidates. So we can go from 1,000 to 5 to 6. So that lets you know how competitive it is to join the World Bank. That doesn't mean it's impossible because we are all there. We are all here. But just so you know, you have to put your best effort forward. You have to. We always say as well that applying is a full-time job. You have to learn how to do it. It's not an easy thing all the time because it can be discouraging. Sometimes you apply, you don't have responses, but also because sometimes you don't apply the right way or you don't apply to the right positions for you. And you don't get the responses and you may think that you're good enough. It's just that it wasn't the job for you or maybe you didn't something. You didn't do the right things to apply. And once we have the shortlist and then we have the interview, we do panel interviews. So the same panel will be the shortlist, we'll do the interview. So that we maintain the trends. That's usually the case. And we always let you know in advance that it's a panel interview and you have the name of the panelists. What we advise is that you do some research on the panelists, you go on the LinkedIn profile, you see who they are, the names, the specialty that helps to break the ice. And it's once you get to the interview, you feel like you know them. And it's less intimidating for you. So that's a small team that you can take with you. Interview usually, I mean, it can be based on position. There may be some tests that you will do, or some assessment that you will do, and then you have 2 to 3 interviews depending on the specific position. And if you're selected, well, you go to the end of the process, you get an offer from the World Bank, and then voila, you're welcome to the World Bank. Okay, tips for application. So I think this is a very practical piece of the presentation. This is heavy. A very practical piece of the presentation. All of you here are students, and at least most of you are students. Some of maybe have graduated already and will be joining the workforce soon. We recommend that you do not do more than a 1 to 2 pages resume. 3 at most, and even here, I will not say 3 for someone who is a student. That's a long CV. Because we understand that you want to prove that you are the best candidate, but then there is just only so much you can put on the resume. That is a valuable information. We spend, when we open a resume, as a recruiter, I spend 5 to 10 seconds on the resume before deciding if I want to have this person in my role. Why? Because first of all, there's a lot of resumes that we have to read, so we can't take anything to read each resume. So when you send a resume, a 10-page resume, just know that the person will open it and read mostly. Because all the information, you have spread the information throughout the 10 pages, so the valuable information may not be accessible easily. So make sure that you summarize the information really straightforward manner. You put the right information. I will say that the job description gives you. So when you apply for a position, the job description, whether it's at the one line or elsewhere, if the job description at least is done properly, you will have the requirements of the job. You will have the qualifications they are looking for. You have the skills they are looking for. Everything from the degree, from the language, from the specific software they are looking for. If you can use the R, Stata, or whatever else, they will ask you, I mean, on the job description, we're looking for someone who has done analysis, quantitative and qualitative analysis. If that's something you've done, that's something that you should highlight on your resume. You know, so take your time to read the job description and find what makes sense to your profile based on what you've done at school, you know, and what you've done if you've done some internships. You put that on the resume. That's what will be done. Remove unnecessary and outdated information. Yesterday, my colleague here was saying that we don't need your primary certificate on a resume. And of course, if you're a master's student or PhD students, you know, so it's not relevant for us to know that you went to primary school. You went to primary school, that's why you're a master's student. You know that already. So that's about if you are consuming space on a resume that is supposed to be 1 page. Or that so it's not valuable information. Try to, as much as possible, to remove subjective information. And subjective information is something that can be interpreted from factor to say, like for instance, the date of birth. We don't need to know your age. I mean, depending, that depends. If on the requirement of the job, you need age like the JP, like the junior professional project, or the white, because then age is a criteria. But if age is not a criteria for specific position, then the age doesn't need to appear on the resume, right? Or your marital status, whether you are single or married, it's not a relevant information at that point. Because if we were hiring you, we're not hiring you based on your marital status. And if you are hired into, for instance, an IRS position, an international position, it doesn't matter to us because you will get the benefits based on the situation. If you are a single person, you can get the benefits according to your status. If you are married or if you have dependents, you have the benefits as well. So for us, it's not something decisive at that point. Picture, for instance, picture can be subjective. You might think that you look good, and you might not look good on the picture. But somebody can think that you don't look good. And then discrimination for that, for your hair too, because you have braids, because you have, I don't know, you're bald, because you have beard, because you don't have a beard. You know, those are subjective. Because you have color in your hair. You know, because you have long, red, whatever, it's fine. You know, but somebody who might see that and discriminatory based on that. So try to avoid it because what you want to achieve is to get to this visual listed. So that's not a fight you want to have about, I'm young white. Yes, good. Try to get shortlisted. And then you prove yourself during the interview process. That's what matters. Moving your CV, have a CV read by someone can be only here with services because I don't know if you have time to do that, but we never know. Because you might do some mistakes on the CV, in your resume. And that would be a great situation. If I'm looking for someone who has good writing skills and you send me your resume with 4, 5, or 6, like how this person cannot write a memo to a client, you can send a basic email to a client. So you might overlook those things because not all of us are good with grammar. I was super bad with mathematics and I'm still am. If I want to have to calculate the 4% on the salary, I struggle. But I'm very good with words. So I know how to do it and I will do it for my friends or for my colleagues. So find someone who can help in those things because that might not be your forte. And it might seem simple for you. It might be simple, like a simple thing, but it's very crucial to proofread your resume. Format, make sure that it's proper, that is, you have the right police and right font, that it appears professional, that we can see that you have good writing and presentation skills. You have a concise summary of who you are professionally and what you bring, what is the value you try to bring to the organization. I like what you said about the fact that, as an engineer, we were told that we have to work on a product that is cheap enough but satisfactory for the customer. But then you think about what is the value that I'm adding, and the professor that I mean, we will be gone and the planet will still be here. So what are we doing? That's something that is very, very good to say in written. I mean, you have to summarize that. Then you have to say that, you have to find a way to say that this is what I'm bringing. I'm bringing sustainability, I'm bringing impact in my job. So it can be 3, 4, 5 lines, more than that, because then it becomes too long. But summarize something that makes sense. And that is impactful enough so that the recruiter wants to know more. We want to know more about you. Use keywords. The keywords that I was referring to are in the job description. So use those same keywords. Action verbs. I'm managing project. I researched on this thing. I led the team. Those type of action verbs show that you really are in the work, that you have impact, that you provide an impact. If you need to provide KPIs or a goal that you achieve for a research project, it can be a simple research project. It can be simple to you, but it will be valuable to us. So provide those KPIs as well. So next slide. Same cover letter, not more than 1 page. You have to provide. We have to show that you have the passion that we need, that you have the motivation, your skills, what you are bringing in terms of skills, soft skills, or in terms of technical skills. We read cover letters when we get to shortlists, and it's a make it or break it. So always have a short cover list, please, because that's if we are requiring a cover list and then don't provide a cover list, then that will be an issue. And sometimes we're not issuing instead of that because other candidates will have the cognizance. Always remember that you're competing, especially for roles where we have international positions, and even not just international positions, because in local, as Sandra was saying, even in LRS, or the local recruitment position in Kenya, we also have people who are not Kenyan who will apply, and they can have the position as terms of international. So you're competing with the whole world. This, every time you apply for the bank, think about, they are Indonesians who apply. There are many people who are Americans. So you have to be the best. You have to be the best. So type of questions, tips for your interview. When you go to an interview, always do the research on the organization. Don't go to an interview like a boyfriend, somebody elsewhere without knowing what to do. It's very unprofessional and very, very unprofessional, and that will most likely allow you upset the recruiter or the interviewer. I'll ask you, can you tell us about the World Bank? What do you know about the World Bank? I think you don't know what the World Bank does. Why are you here? Why are you here? And those information are on the internet. Actually, the information is on the job description. Because we leave the job description with the description of the World Bank. So there's always a paragraph. We don't put all of the description of the World Bank. We usually do a paragraph and then we put a link where you can have the full, you can access to the World Bank page and then you can look at what we do. So that works for every other institution you can apply to. You know? So you always do that research when you come to an interview. Icebreaker, prepare yourself, elevator pitch. The elevator pitch is what? There's a simple question that is asked. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about you.
Find the best person.
Why the best person for this job? I can tell you that if I'm picking 3 of you now, I'm saying, tell me about yourself. We start tailoring. I am pretty sure, even myself as a recruiter, before going to an interview, I always prepare because once you're asked, tell us about yourself, you are questioning yourself. Who am I? True. Because what are the elements? At that time, you're thinking, what are the elements I have to think I have to provide? Me, the professional, or me, the personal? At that moment, we need the professional. And it can be the soft skill, the communication, the teamwork, the collaboration, you know. If you say, oh, I'm happy, a joyful person, fine, but what does it bring? It doesn't bring anything. It's a good quality to have as a human being outside of work. And it can be interesting, it can be useful as well in a team environment. But at that moment, what I'm looking for as a recruiter, I'm looking for something that can contribute to the team's success in terms of self-care, but also in terms of what you've done so far. And not that just because you're a student, you haven't done anything. You have done a lot. Getting to a master's degree is a lot. It's a great achievement. It is. So what have you done? Have you worked on the tests? Have you done some expose? Have you done some research? Have you done some, I don't know what kind of work you've done? And what did it teach you? So those are the things that you can talk about. And what you are bringing to the table. Soft skills I talked about it, the technical skills. You always have to review the technical skills that are required in the job description. Managerial skills, that's if you are a manager or which, you know, not everybody wants to be a manager. Some people want to be specialists, some people want to go to the managerial piece of part of the job. We have in the bank, for instance, what we call at the GH level, we have the technical leads, the GH technical. So those are people who are very, very specialized, skilled, and are very good in the field, and they don't necessarily have management with that. Every now and then they can have consultants, they don't manage a team necessarily, whereas we have the GH managerial, who are practice managers, and they have that job comes with managerial skills or requirements you need to have. Next. Quickly. And then, yes, maybe tips for application. When you answer questions, think about the situation. What about the situation? When we ask the question, what was the situation I was facing? And what was the challenge? And how did I overcome the challenge? What were the tasks and the goals that I achieved those goals? What were the actions that I took to meet the goals? And what were the results? You know, always think about results. When you talk about the results, it's important. Always let us know what you achieved. Even if it's the smallest thing, you want from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, let us know what you've done, you know, during an interview. And that will be very valuable. And always think that you have to give your best to get an interview. Again, you are competing with so many other people. You know, you might think that, oh, I was good, but the next person will be better. And you might not get selected. And I don't think that because you're not selected, even at the shortlist phase, don't think that because you're not selected, that means you're not good. Again, like I said, if we receive applications, let's say 100, and that will select 5 people. That lets you know how. And that has nothing to do with or the skills. It just has to do with the fact that the competition is fierce. So what does it mean? Maybe I should reward my CV. Maybe I should apply. I always say as well, apply to the job that makes sense to you. If you are a financial specialist, finance specialist, or an accountant, then that's what you need. You know, of course, there are some readings that you can, some readings that you can cross depending on what you do, but apply to what makes sense to you. You know, next. I think we almost do. Yeah, so do about a few things, follow us on website, learn some languages as Fanta was saying, because at the World Bank having 2 or 3 languages is very valuable. I see someone was saying she speaks Russian, which is you, right? Besides Russian and English, what is it? German. Oh, wow. That's impressive. That is impressive. You know, beyond your development, don't hesitate to take volunteer roles while you're trying to build your skills. Sometimes they might not be paid. I'm not saying volunteer role at the bank, but for instance, you work with, she also needs to volunteer, UN, volunteer, you know. The UN is constantly looking for volunteers. Do not hesitate to doing that. You know, sometimes they can provide some allocation to do it, to travel or do things on the ground, you know, and that will become a nice experience. But even locally, you can work for an NGO, you can work for a local NGO, you have things that you can do that will be valuable. I'll stop here and I'll give to share experience, a journey from Nairobi, from University of Nairobi to the World Bank, and then we can take the question. We still have about 30 minutes. You will. I think we're good with the presentation. We can remove the.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's start with a question. What's the one thing from everything you have seen and heard? What's the one thing that made you want to work for the World Bank? Oh, the benefits. I love it. Someone else? At the back? This? Diversity. Well done. One more, just one more. So, I mean, it's really my privilege to be able to come back here and to just share my career journey and my experience at the World Bank. You know, Nelson Mandela said that education is the best weapon you can use to change the world. And when we talk about changing the world, there's no better, bigger, high impact organization that you can work for than the World Bank Group. But also, I mean, I'm a fan of Oprah. Ladies in the room. Oprah also said that, you know, luck is preparation meeting opportunity. So you have to prepare yourself and package yourself and get yourself ready to work for the World Bank. Because they tell us that the World Bank hires the best of the best, right? And when you get there, you find the very best of the very best. So it really is a privilege to be able to work there. I mentioned earlier that I'm originally from Murang'a County. Yes, I grew up and I'm from Murang'a County. So the odds of getting to the World Bank, and you know what we say here in Kenya, we say that you need to know people, right? You need to know people. Well, like zero, you know, like negative zero. And these are some of the things that I'm going to share with you about why I love working for the World Bank Group, and also specifically having the opportunity to work with the private sector, the International Finance Corporation. Let me give you a bit of my career journey. So I am a teacher by profession. Yeah, so I know how to tend to work with children. But when I thought about what I wanted to do, I wanted to do a lot more. Education is great because we prepare people for the future, you prepare people to meet the workforce, etc. But I wanted to do a lot more. So when I left the University of Nairobi, I did a lot of unpaid jobs. So internships, but I got to get into one of the big organizations, Nation Media Group. And it's working through the Nation Media Group that I realized actually I love impact. You know, I want to work on issues that impact people. And I left the Nation Media Group and I joined Standard Chartered to work in the sustainability space. I think somebody here said they're being told how to package and produce products at a lower price, at the same time there must be a return the shareholders, right? That is a private sector speak, and it doesn't get even stronger when you work for financial services. So we did all this work, and back in the day, sustainability as a theme, as an issue, was just emerging at that point in time. So we were doing a lot of CSR and transitioning that to sustainability, but every time it had to have a lower return for for the shareholders. So I left Standard Chartered and I went to work for upstream oil and gas. So upstream oil and gas is interesting because it's where the big money is. You know, if you want big money, you go into oil and gas and mining. But also most importantly, because of the pressure around the impacts on people and private populations where they work, there's a lot of pressure to really do good work, you know, to really invest in impact, especially when it comes to managing and mitigating, you know, the negative effects of oil and gas. So this is where I really got like, you know, in touch with what I really wanted to do. I wanted to do good. I wanted to see impact and I wanted to see development. And I started thinking about how can I get the development world? And I just don't want to get into any other space. I want to get into a world where, you know, we're investing in real development, real impact and real results. And I started looking at the World Bank Group and this is what I want to tell you. They didn't say it here, but I want to say it very loudly. You do not need to know anyone to enter into the World Bank Group. You just need to be ready. You just need to be prepared. Follow the tips that he presented and put in your application. They simply just look for the people who bring value. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't expect to be hired. Let me be honest with you. I didn't think I would be hired because I only worked in Kenya. Now I'm looking to work across Africa. I mean, how are they going to consider me? But I went through the interview process with people I didn't know. So I got interviewed by very many people, very rigorous interview process, and I got hired. And I said, wow, there's actually hope in this world. You don't need to do anything to get into the World Bank. One of the things I really enjoy about working for the World Bank Group is a focus on impact. You know, all the values that have been presented here, they are lived every day. My background in the private sector was moving things very fast and focus on the dollar return, right? Here we take time to design projects and you will learn how to design projects, how to put in rigor in designing project and how to focus on the results. One of my worst nightmares is when the system comes on, we call the PCR cycle, project completion reports, because those are a nightmare. You will work on them, you will show evidence on how you use the money, and you will show the impact that project on the people. And we do have a group that is called IEG. This is the independent evaluation group that we don't like to interact with, but they really put out as much. And that's what I was looking for. So if you're looking for impact working in climate, this is where you're going to get it. Number two, about working with the World Bank Group is that you get to learn. It never ends. You learn every day. So you come with your degree in climate, you come with your master's in climate, you come with your PhD. But my experience working for the World Bank Group, this is the best university I have ever been to. You meet the best minds in the world, but also in terms of the way you work, you learn so much. So you learn every day. And I tell myself, if I went back to the private sector, I don't know how I would work there, because there you just push things very quickly. You do 3 PowerPoint presentations, you convince the people on the dollar return, and you're told, yes, go lend to that client. This is very different. Even when we do lending, we do edge to edge. Of course, IFC will also have to make money with the private sector lending, and we're an investment bank for the World Bank. So we still have to look at the dollar return. And we go further and we talk about impact, we talk about how we reach women, youth, bottom of the pyramid. And this is what I wanted to do. So every day for me is really living my dream at IFC. The other thing I wanted to talk about is diversity and the level of exposure that you get. I work with everyone across the globe. The level of diversity is unmatched in most of the private sector organizations that I work with. And I work with multinationals, so I can compare in terms of almost like for like. And also, if you're looking for exposure, this is the place to be. How many people are here? Yeah. It's everywhere. So you get exposed, not just in terms of the markets that you work for. And please don't expect to fly to Paris to London in places like this. You know, you're going to Conakry and Lagos and Mexico and Cuba, and Yemen and things like that. But that's the other side of the world, which really opens your heart. And that has been my experience. Never been to East Asia Pacific, if you want to go to Latin America. And also in terms of growing careers, these guys have been there for 19 years. I've been there 10 years in the government for 30 years. Like you get in, and there's so much to do, and they've done all manner of things in work, in education, in agriculture, in climate, in everything. So you can build a career from the beginning to the end of your career like at the World Bank. I like to tell my team that, when I started working, I used to say that, the minimum you need to work in a job is 2 years, because then you master the work, right? And then the third year, you're delivering with your eyes closed, and then the fourth year, you start living, right? So before I joined the World Bank Group, the longest I ever worked on the job was 4 years past. Yeah, I didn't even realize when the 4 years came around. It's 8 years now. And I haven't done a lot of living to be honest. I know this guys will be very happy. So I will take one more person. And that's because you get to do so much, interact with so many people, but also you get a lot of satisfaction in the work. And I'm not advertising for the people recruiting. This is my personal, very personal experience. And then I'll go on to the last one around inclusive culture. You know what the dean was asking me this morning? The first question he asked me is, how do you manage to, balance your care responsibilities as a woman and at the same time be able to pursue an international career? It must be very difficult. You have to sacrifice that. But I'm here to tell you that we have so many mothers with young children, and they are managing these jobs because we have the very best of childcare policies. Our parental leave, we have both maternity and parental leave, but also in terms of the work environment, the flexibility that we get to work. For the first time in my working career, I don't have to clock in at 8 o'clock. I'm allowed to plan my day, to plan my work and plan my deliverables. So I don't have to swipe at 7:30 to get into the office, but I have days when I get in at 7 o'clock. I have days when I get in at 6:30, and sometimes I have even at 6 a.m. I have days when I come in at 10 a.m. because I have to stretch my day to speak to my colleagues in Washington at 6:30 p.m. So I really love that flexibility, and I have the leeway to make my own decisions because I lead a program. So they expect me that I'll be able to make the strategic decisions and be able to ensure that I'm meeting the principles of the World Group and at the same time be able to the impact. So I'll end there. I will be impressed for time. I'm happy to take any questions people are.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Father, I just have a quick thing to say, and then we take the questions.
So just quickly
Thank you.
before we end, I think there is one important thing that I'd like to share with you. Please stay connected. Stay connected with us and said it. The bank is a knowledge bank. It is not a knowledge just for internal, it's knowledge for external. We have many publications that are posted. Follow us on the different social media. We have live events, live webinars. If you do not have a LinkedIn account, please create one. So many opportunities, especially the short-term consultancies, are not posted on our career site. Again, on LinkedIn, connect with people that maybe attended your university. We have many. Connect with people in your own particular sectors. Ask questions. They talk about their projects. They talk about what they've done. They talk about, things they're working on. Give ideas, contribute. You never know. It's things, a connection can land a short-term opportunity. Again, as I said, internship, consultancy, that's a great way to test our organization, to see what we do, to have an opportunity to really work on a real-life project, work hand in hand with team leaders and task leaders and management, and really experience. Decide, maybe this is what I want to do, this is maybe not what I want to do, but at least you have that opportunity. The last thing I want to tell you is, once you connect to our job, our recruitment platform, so here you can see all the programs we talked about with like the eligibility in much more details, you also have a link to our recruitment platform, Compass. That's where we post our jobs. Set up a job alert, then you start getting notifications when there are vacancies that are aligned to whatever profile you set up and the type of skill sets you have. Again, if you have any questions, please go ahead. We are here. It's not every day we come to Nairobi. Please don't be shy. Ask the questions. We are how many? 5 of us here. I'm sure somebody will be able to address it. And again, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, everyone. Very much.
Any questions? Yes. You want to come to the speaker? Microphone. Thank you. And the next person, please come also.
Thank you so much. I think I'm a super fan. First of all, now that I come from a customer service background, they deserve a clap. And I want to make sure that Swahili is also part of the national language that we have to. So tutapigia makofi ya nyayo. Moja, mbili, tatu, funga, fungua. So first of all, I did also, I feel encouraged. To me, the Bible is a miracle. I've always been looking forward to work with World Bank, and if I don't work with them, I'm happy they're next to me. So I'm a banker. I work with Family Bank. I've been there for 13 years. I did undergraduate year education, and currently I'm doing my MBA Strategic Management at the University of Nairobi. Our dean. We are very grateful that the office organizing this. Thank you, Francis. So, my lady and Mr. Obeid for this forum and organization. I'm also very proud for the undergraduate students. I'm proud of you. Please clap for yourselves. Oh my God, you created time in the bank lesson. So my question is not even a question. I've been applying severally. Now I know where I didn't apply right because I will put a lot of information. I've gotten the nitty-gritty of what is needed. So my question is, having gone to this forum, and also needing a little bit of mentorship on just how to package myself, because I need to package myself. I saw Adelis Kitty, who replied my email, was very passionate. Would you also consider still working with us in the journey to mold us more so that we become that desired best candidate globally, because it's not locally? Thank you.
You have a question?
So I'm an undergraduate student, computer science. Oh, my name is Steven. She's already given you the plots that you guys need, so I'll just go to the question. My question is, for someone in a background from software engineering, computer science, I went through your site, but I didn't really get the idea of the roadmap, the journey of someone from an IT background. How do they matriculate into whatever you guys do at the World Bank? What's your tech stack? What do you guys really want from someone who comes from IT? And not just working in terms of building programs for you and maintaining servers, your databases, but what if I was wanting to come from an IT background, but I want to do project management at the World Bank? How does that fit in? What's the roadmap in the journey?
Another question? Please, if you have a question, come over here. Yeah, come over. Let's take one more or two more, and then we'll respond.
Hello, everybody. My name is Yush Wahuda. My question is, what are the chances of entry-level opportunities that are currently available for graduates who are ready to grab this opportunity? Because most of the jobs that I've come across with, they're asking for 7 years of experience. I'm like, wow, when will I get there? How? I kind of get discouraged, for the lengthy, long experience that you are asking for some of these jobs. So, yeah, thank you very much.
So those are three questions. Do you want us to respond?
I'll start with this one, which is, there are a couple of ways. We talked about the different programs, JPA, for example. It's a quick one. Internship is also a quick one, depending on if you are an undergrad or a grad. But again, a lot of the fellowships, we have different fellowships. Again, we have a lot of programs. We didn't present everything. Again, connect, look at the different programs that we have. Again, LinkedIn, many opportunities are posted on LinkedIn that are not posted on our career site because either they are of short-term nature. We have internships that are sometimes at a unique level that is not under the internship, the global internship, the corporate program. Again, connect with people. Now, the other thing I also want to say is sometimes immediate is not the right time, right? I mean, I just want to stress, we are being very candid. I mean, my colleague Cedric said things very bluntly. At the end of the day, you want to be successful in joining the bank, right? And sometimes it's not right out of college. Sometimes you do need to build that experience in order to make you more competitive and to make you more strategically positioned for a particular job. So I want you to also think about that, depending on what your journey is going to be. But there are some programs, please connect, look at them and see if that's what you have. Okay.
Well, I'll answer the two questions and then you can come in quickly. So for the first question about molding and capacity building, we are preparing a program where we will be working with universities, not just universities, but also other, organizations, professional bodies, where we can build capacity in terms of resumes, in terms of interview processes, and preparing you how to go to an interview and be more confident, how to write a resume, how to write a cover letter. So we already give you tips here, but the goal is, of course, when that will be ready and when we'll be able to launch it. To do it, it can be virtual, it can be in person if we have time to do it. I'm not sure we're going to fly back to Nairobi, this year. I don't know, but that's definitely something that we will do. So just so you know. And the other question, I will just say briefly, was gentlemen. Yes. We hire in IT. I was saying to my colleague here that we have another colleague who's a recruiter and she specializes in that department. She knows more about it than I do, maybe than you do. But we do have roles in IT in also with project management and other things, So what we can do is also to share with you. I mean, actually, if you follow this, you will find those opportunities. You can read those job descriptions and see what those departments are looking for. So you will find out if it makes sense to you, and most likely it will. So because we have those roles that are available at the work.
And I think just quickly, I think IT is an integral part of everything that we do, building the system, all of those things. But really, even when we talked about how the bank is innovative, right? When we are taking on new projects, IT is part of this structure. When we are embarking in, let's say, a recruitment system. We go out, we look for a company to help us build it. The IT colleagues are the ones that understand the bank. They are the ones that we need to partner even to go and work with third party. They are the ones who can also kind of realign us as to what's possible, what's not possible. How do you project manage this? How do you actually go from one to another? What are the things to look for? So we have, I want to say, almost a whole building within like the 7 buildings that we have at the bank that is just dedicated to IT. Working with IC when they are talking like treasury and the stock and in different areas. So definitely Many. And just one point is, I know the department, the vice presidency is actually restructuring. So many opportunities within IT that are coming up. So please visit and see what opportunities there are. Do you mind? I think they are all waiting, so we'll take some of the questions.
Let me just add on to that because we had a similar question yesterday, Kevin. The best is business solutioning, using the IT skills for business solution, but that's why she's mentioning in projects and all that. We also have a new vice presidency unit on digital development, and this is really how to use the digital development to solve problems. And some of the IT skills are important, but not just the core IT skills. Is someone coming in with an IT background, but able to look at a problem and create a business solution to that situation. Yes. Yeah, Mama, please.
Tell us your name. Hi, everyone. I'm Felix Isonga. I'm a senior. Sorry. I am a student of this university, alumnus, this twice. I did my undergraduate here, Bachelor of Science in Meteorology. I know most of you are meeting a meteorologist for the first time. And, when I went ahead and did also a Master's of Science in meteorology, I'm graduating hopefully this October, this particular university. I have been an intern with the United Nations, the World Meteorological Organization here in Nairobi. I have been working on a few programs, some of which World Bank has been a community partner with WBG and other even agencies like UNDP, UNDRI. And along the course, I have got to know what World Bank does, especially on climate change and climate solutions. And I was I got myself interested in the JPA program. Just so that you know, I've actually been following the JPA program for quite some time now. JPA. And actually, I've been wondering because it's been a while since June started. And it keeps showing. If you look at it, June, and I was like, also the JPA program has some limits because you should be reporting at 28 years. And I am almost turning 28. Yeah. Time is amazing. So I want to stop time. Yeah, I really want to know if I'm falling out of, So I would like to know surely if you are really working with the JPA program, because I really trust my instincts and I believe I could come in as a climate scientist and I'll be grateful. So I'd just like to get some, clarifications on the JPA program. When could it be opening? Is it coming soon? There is some technicalities.
Hello, everyone. My brother is economics and I am Australia. You are from projects and delivering and the evaluation team, from there. And specifically as for the SDGs, for example, so what challenges do you have in accomplishing the targets? What's Vision 2030? Because World Bank is the best, but the challenges which you first ask was to realize when we see that growth is happening, but not as fast, or what should be the best that should be. So we are approaching 2030, but the progress is not happening. And it's a little bit of features. Transition numbers will develop different things. So I would like to get some clarification on that.
Thank you very much.
I want to ask a question.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kalitos Muthiru.
my third year undergraduate doing microbiology, biotechnology. And when I saw the email, I was very surprised. Now, when you ask me about the needs, me one of the needs that I know, when I just see a bank, it's maybe finance or accounting. When I was looking at the needs of so public health and economic interest, so I wanted to find out. I've had more. Not sure who is talking, but you said that it's not a one project, but the government of Kenya is a World Bank financed project. So now in a sector like public health, if I were to apply, what would make me apply to World Bank and not WHO, because WHO deals with health. And now when I get there, apart from, let's say if I have a very good project, apart from maybe let's say what else would I get from being employed as media doctor or nurses. And so I think just to demystify the myth that I had, what did I get?
Hi everyone, my name is Wayne Vajula. I've got a few questions. So for starters, I have applied for the YPP. I have been shortlisted before, but now the further questions that come during the interview process is what I'm interested in. So for example, there's the interview where you have to record yourself. Yes, that one. Could you give us tips so when we get there, we are actually ready? It's usually just like 3 minutes and you have to figure out what to say. And there's this question about what drove you into the World Bank. And I'm sure most Africans will relate. Sometimes you're tempted to speak into your problems from your African background, you know, like how you grew up, you had to fetch water from a river, all that. Yeah, so like that speaks to my mission, yes, but it probably won't relate to someone who's trying to interview me. So like for that one, what are the tips that you give us? And then secondly, the psychometric tests, especially the numerical tests. Some of them look funny. It's like just slashing, okay, arrange these things or slash fluids, or I mean like they're just figures or rearrange patterns with that kind of stuff. So you think that when you're doing it, you're doing the right thing, but then it usually comes back as a failure. So what in particular are you guys trying to assess or get out of our candidates? Yes.
Okay.
Last one and then.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Please. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I think I got scared earlier, but I will be running late. So the commitments, but I'm thankful that I'm here. I've listened carefully to what is being said here, but having been in the market for the last 8 years, I am a bit scared that there is something that is taking over. It's called artificial intelligence. Just, I think last week, one of our banks, was downsizing because AI is really taking over. So I'm a bit careful just to understand. But of course, as a recruiter as well, what then are we looking for? What is the preparedness of World Bank in terms of probably collaborating the AI thing? And what intentions do you then have? Or do we get our graduates, to get into World Bank, but after say 1 or 2 years, then there is the issue of downsizing, because of that. I mentioned my name is Fred. I'm pursuing my I am postgraduate in health economics and policy from here. So I also saw the email. I really wished I would be here. So I'm keen to understand if I really get the best answer, then we will encourage these Kenyans to apply. But then if we are not strategic with that, then we realize we are no longer going to have these presentations. You're going to key in. I'm also scared about my postgraduate because statistics is taken by the AI. Today, all the analysis are done there. So where then do we fall? That's me. Thank you.
Okay, let's have the last one because there are many questions.
Good morning, everyone. My name is WBG Outreach. My question is, as we as let's say postgraduate students,
So we have our projects that we undertake. You as World Bank, you have a program that you come in that you can support us in our program. Like for instance, you find that personally, I'm interested in non-communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. Do you find a place that you can come in and help those students, not about paying fee, but about going to the field and collecting data and now doing the final analysis on their thesis? Thank you.
So we'll attempt to answer these questions. Some of them are very related, so we'll not say sorry, Kevin, and all that questions. But if there's any that we miss out, please do let us know. Do you want to start with the higher views?
Yeah, I can start with the higher view. So, out of full disclosure, I used to work on the YP. That was about 3 years ago. But I started the higher view process. And the higher view process was, and this touches a bit on AI a little bit, but the higher view process was actually added to the process because in many instances we had candidates that looked really good on paper, and then we'd be invited for interviews, and some of them wouldn't even be able to speak English. So I'm just being very honest and blunt, okay? So again, when you think about it, we say, you know, we are a bank, we try to be innovative. So all the time we try to reinvent ourselves. The YP program, believe it or not, we 1 year we received up to 18,000 applications where people individually sat these applications. So Higher View was introduced to kind of help us also try to sort through the process in order to actually bring the people back. Now, we asked, at the time, it was like 5 questions. I'm not sure how many questions they asked. Nowadays, I don't work on the program. 5 questions. And then, you know, there are relevant questions. Why are you interested in joining the World Bank? We talked about it, you know. Tell us about your passion. Want to talk about the fact that, yes, I grew up in a rural environment where I did not have access to water. We have many of those in the bank, right? And we even have a video that usually we show in some of the outreach where we have people that say, I grew up in a village where we didn't have electricity. I used to review my homework having a lamp or having a candle. So those are actually real scenarios, right? How do you word it? How do you position it? How do you express it? How do you then link it to where you see yourself or how you contribute to the job that you are applying for? Is one thing you should consider. The other part of the question is usually catered to teamwork. Sometimes they talk about your technical expertise. You need to be able to also tell them, okay, I bring this to the table, and this is what's gonna make me the best candidate for this. So I think it's maybe looking back at if you had an opportunity to be shortlisted, at least you know you have at least what we are looking for on paper, but looking back and seeing where the gap is as to how do I make mine the very best, because I'm competing for this thing. For at least, I can tell you, Higher View, we have more than 1,000 people that go into Higher View. At the end of the day, this year we recruited 57. So how do you differentiate yourself? On the JPA, I'll just quickly, yes, I know, time is of essence. We may even hear today, I don't know. It's in senior management. The reason why it's been closed is because the JPA is being revamped. Doesn't change the eligibility criteria, doesn't change most of what it is, but they are just, again, in the spirit of innovating, in the spirit of making it better. It's not about to disappear, but I also want you to know that JPA is not the only program that we have. So I wish that they open it before you turn 30. But if they don't, we presented there are many other avenues. If you have, you know what it takes to come and join the bank, there are many ways to, like they say, all roads leads to Rome. So all roads leads to the world. Thank you.
Just to build on that, colleagues, we brothers and sisters, our intention today is not necessarily to entice you to join the World Bank, but actually to prepare you to join the job market. So be it at the UN, whatever. Not all of you may be able to join the World Bank immediately, as Patrick said. But if you can join the UN, and I'm very happy to hear about you being in the UN system as a JPA or working in the UN system, that could be a step towards you building yourself to join the World Bank, IMF, African Development Bank, and all that. So our interest is not necessarily selfish for you to come to World Bank, but actually for you as a student to prepare yourself for the job market. There's been a question about AI, and I just want to build up on this. How many of you were old enough to know what was happening on December 31st, 1999 and 1st January 2000? So you may not remember, but it was the change of millennium. And it was a big thing. I was working for an airline then. That tells you how old I am. I was working for an airline then, and we did not sleep that entire day. I was in charge of, as a young man, in charge of a project called Y2K. That is the new millennium. And everyone was worried. Computers are going to crash. People in hospitals, connected to computerized systems. Airlines, an aeroplane is a computerized package. It's going to be in the air, and something might not just work, and it will fall down and crash and all that. I'm telling you, no flight took off. JKIA that night until well over 2 hours after midnight. There were others who were already airborne, and people were checking, there are no WhatsApp and all that. There's no YouTube then. People are checking their faxes and telexes and all that to check, has there been any crash? Nothing crashed. No plane crashed. All planes worked okay. So what I'm simply saying by that example is AI is here. Do not worry about AI unless you will not use AI. So if you do not catch up with the times, that is why you need to worry. But worrying about AI itself, it may take jobs, it may do this. Yes, it may take jobs, some jobs away. It's true. And that's not the only thing that has taken jobs away. The photocopying machine took jobs away. Did it not? The internet took jobs away. Did it not? Wi-Fi has taken jobs away, has it not? So AI may take some jobs away, but not all jobs. So do not worry about joining a job being taken. I think what you need to be worried about is more being prepared for the future and being equipped. Now, the thing that I'd like really to emphasize to you is the job market of tomorrow is not the traditional job market, especially for those of you who are still in school. Having knowledge is good, but I understand that systems are being developed that can actually think better, think faster, and are more knowledgeable than you and I, or all of us combined in this room. So knowledge is an important thing, but it's not everything. What is becoming more important is the ability to be able to have solutions to situations. Being able to think about a situation and have a fit for purpose solution. That is the main thing. And for you who are still in school, the confluence of specializations is becoming more important than ever. Just like we told the gentleman on software developing, Having experience or knowledge in software development and also having experience in, say, finance and economics, that makes you a lot more competitive than someone who would traditionally just have software engineering knowledge. So that confluence of the multidisciplinary experience is really critical for your success. Those, I think we've answered the question on speaking to your problems, African problems. I like that reference. Yes, you may have problems, but so you have 659 million people around the world. They don't have problems, probably worse than yours. The biggest tragedy I've seen, and I've said before, is young people send the same CV to all organizations. Biggest mistake. Biggest mistake. Take a CV as an advert. Have you ever seen the same advert from, say, a soda being the same as a telecom company or whatever? It's not, because they're targeting different audiences. So for you as an applicant, you have to tailor-make and highlight on your CV the skills and knowledge and experience that you bring that is responding to the job or the organization you are applying. So clearly a CV that you're sending to a equity bank probably not be the same CV 100% that you're sending to the UN. Because UN may be looking for certain skills in abundance more than what equity is looking at. So try and make your CV to really suit the job and the industry or the organization you are working at. There was a question about projects and I think communicable diseases and all that. One bank works through the government. So the government has what we call project implementation units, and those are the projects that are actually implementing, the units that are actually implementing the projects at the grassroots. So we do not, can I say, hire people to work on projects directly, but we finance government. I think I had said earlier that the projects that you call World Bank projects should actually be called World Bank financed projects. They're government projects, and we try and use government systems to implement our projects, partly also to ensure ownership of those projects and also to enhance capacity in government systems in the governments we work with. There was a question about the difference between World Bank and WHO in terms of public health. As I said, we are not necessarily trying to recruit you only for the World Bank. We want you to be there, but if you can join WHO and eventually join World Bank at some point in time, that's okay. Now, we do hire medical doctors, and we have several from this university. I know our health economist is a graduate of this university here in Kenya. So we do hire public health professionals, but more importantly, see how your experience is responding to things. So probably maybe we can immediately respond to AMREF or respond to an agency at the UN. And you may go for some further studies or some certifications that may make you more marketable or acquire some experience that may make you more marketable at the World Bank eventually. I think we've covered just about all the questions, but if you think we've not responded to your question, please raise that one, I guess. Okay.
Thank you, students, for eager to run our World Bank. We have our Adam Smith representing the director economics, Dr. Socrates, my student, please come. You know Adam Smith? And Lincoln right now? He's our WTO fellow, our trade organization. Let him say something, one minute. Socrates, introduce yourself.
Good afternoon once again.
My name is Socrates Majune. I'm here to represent Dr. Martin Oleche, who is the Director of the Department of Economics and Development Studies. So, of course, I'm very happy to have the World Bank come here. Briefly, I have 2-3 remarks about the World Bank. Number one, I became a white here at the World Trade Organization ago, but then before going to the WTO, of course, I just applied to the World Bank, and by then my assumption was this place is only 10 people who are going to certain universities. But then over time, I realized I had an undergraduate classmate of mine while here at the University of Nairobi doing same time we did masters economics here. He joined the World Bank under the IFC last year. Number two, another very good friend who did her undergraduate economics from Kenyatta University, masters again from Kenyatta University, did a PhD jointly Kenyatta and some university in France, joined the World Bank. And then last year, I have a very good friend also who is doing the YP, the World Bank a few years past. And they studied in Malawi for most of the time. So that assumption of you only need to go to certain universities actually has been cut down. And in general, I think a lot have been said. You need to just how to multitask, know several languages, then build your skills. I think those are the most important things just prepare yourself because it's very, very competitive. Of course, I would like to thank the World teams for choosing to come to our university. I uplift all of us, and I'm wishing you all the best. In my last remarks, I've always told my students, and if you need any assistance in terms of preparing for the interviews, I've always offered myself. We really do rehearsal, because as it's said, you need to really put your egg in. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. We'd like to come to a close unless there is okay.
All right, don't they deserve a big round of applause? So thank you so much, the World Bank team, for this interactive session, informative and interactive session. I believe you have all benefited from this, right? And you're going to tap into these opportunities. So I always like giving back to our students. It's a way of building your skills as well. Check 12, come you give the vote of thanks. And then we'll have a group photo of that after this on the 5th floor.
Good afternoon. I hope you're all well. My name is Cheptoo Mobe. Student in MBA Operations Management. I'm actually finalizing my project, so I think I'll be one of the people who will be applying to all of when the site is ready. I've actually done it a few times, but I think the same round I'm doing it best. Thank you so much. I think each and every one of us came here with an expectation. I think most of them have been met. And I would like to extend our very hearty thank you to the professor here and Naomi who put this together, and also to the team from World Bank. We are grateful that you're here. Most of us have just read your reports. We interacted with you for maybe TV when we were hearing about CBC and being World Bank funded. We have read it on signposts from project sites, but now you've made it something that is actually living and practical to each and every one of us, and we want to thank you for that. I would also like to say congratulations to the World Bank, because this great work that you're doing in 189 countries is something that has grown out of about 80 years of just a few people coming together and thinking of this great vision that is now transforming the world. And since I did not think I'd have this opportunity, I'd like to say finally that as you have promised to invest in education, if there's a way you could work directly with the university so as we can tailor all of our courses for the global markets. I don't know how it will work, I've not thought about it yet, but I think it would be a great opportunity because some of us get to the end of our let's say, graduate program, and then we realize that how the course is tailored is such that we have to go back and plan the market all over. So that would be the one thing that I would ask from the World Bank team, especially since you're here from the HR department. To all the students, thank you so much for making it here. The room is full, and I think it's a great privilege to be here. And thank you to each and every one of you for making it here today. Thank you to the team from World Bank once again. Obed, Tasso, Aguvana, and Kitty, thank you so much for making it here today. God bless you, and we hope you'll keep interacting in many different levels.
So let's go to the fifth floor for a group photo. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Before, just we didn't have enough goodies. So I'll put some there. Put there and some here. Take one of each. It's not much. We have webcam. Camera to hide your cameras and something you can use for your keys and things like that.
He's a recruiter. Yes, you can ask him. Yes. Hi, how are you? Yes. Masters or bachelors? But a master's. Yeah. You're trying to have a later. For YP program, yes. That's very special for the YP program.
We need you in the photo.
Yes, let's move. Come over. Se va bien?
Hello, my name is Stella. I don't know whether we talk after the photo.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, yes. All right. Yes. Thank you too. Yeah, you can reach me on LinkedIn. I think that's the best thing. Obed. Just type Obed one. Yeah, that way. You can see the picture.
Yeah, we can go out and then
Look at the picture. This one. Yeah, this one.
I work for Salesforce, one of your.
Yes, how are you? I'm good. Can we do after picture? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Hi. Yes. Obed. OBED. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Dennis. Naomi, this is yours. Here. I've carried. Here it is. And then my book. My notebook was there. Yeah. Nimewekea kwa bag yako. Yeah, laptop, yeah.